What is going on, family? My brothers and sisters in the Warning Army. I hope everybody is doing well, and I hope everybody is safe and sound after all this terrible news with the recent hurricane, especially anybody living in the southern part of the United States, Florida, the Carolinas. I know South Carolina got hit pretty hard as well as Florida. And I feel like the Warning definitely made the right call by postponing those shows in Atlanta and Nashville. And as disappointed as I was, I am that much more disappointed for anybody who this would have been their very first time seeing the Warning. And I don't really want to rub salt in the wound, but I feel so bad for anybody who this would have been their first time and having to delay that experience, all the anticipation leading up to that build up to go into that show. I definitely understand what you guys are going through and how difficult that is, because I had all those kind of same emotions leading up to my first show, and I can only imagine what would have felt like if I would have gotten that experience kind of taken away from me, like at nobody's fault other than the fact of Mother Nature. That's the worst part about it. There's nobody to blame. But it is Women Who Rock Wednesdays, and this all started with the Warning. So if you're new to the channel, we do this every single Wednesday where we definitely give some time to the Warning and show some love for the Warning, and also really just some other great bands who have some also great women who rock as well. And as an attempt to lift my spirits for the uncertainty of when I'm going to see the Warning again, I feel like that it was time to just go ahead and get into another song from the Pepsi Center. And I saw that they had just released the song Money, which is becoming probably one of my top favorites especially from the older records that I've heard so far. Money is one of those ones that I keep coming back to, and I really like Survive a lot too, so I wanted to kind of put those two together. But I wanted to put a little bit of time between Freeze the Falls cover of Survive and when I did another video talking about this song. I know my stripe is still kind of half pinned on from that Freeze the Fall love that I was giving them. Let's go ahead and check them out.
Hey! Oh! I don't wanna break this down to you. It's a cruel thing that we learn to do. 'Cause we all gotta pay for something. We all gotta kill for nothing. Happiness has its voice. Life's just more in this business. Rapacity will be the illness that we will learn to love. Are you worth your weight in gold? Going once, going twice, sold. It's all about that cold high cash on. Woo! Go ahead and cry, shallow pools of blood, diamond news at your throat. Hey, oh, hey. More for colder days 3 times a year. Truth that's sitting goes just as it's here. I'll never ask for forgiveness. I come with God as my witness. I pray He'll wash my hands. It's sad and it's cruel and the world turns. Soldier, so that's how it works. We're human after all. Are you worth your weight in gold? Going once, going twice, sold. It's all about that. Go ahead and cry, shallow.
Okay, before we get into this part, because my favorite part is the song is when they do the cash money thing. I love when they do that. The money flying all over the place is a really nice touch. They did it even at the Baltimore show. I don't think that it was like an actual like gun, but somebody had the fake cash thing like going in the air. It was all over the ground like when you left the show. I think some people thought it was real though. Some people were doing that whole like, is that for real? Some people were definitely enjoying some adult beverages, and it was pretty hot in there. So, you know, for a brief second, those dollars look pretty real. You guys have reminded me so many times about this show, and I have not brought it up a single time about the fact that apparently like every band member was actually sick at this show. And now I'm looking at this from like a whole different lens where I can like see that something seemed off, like especially in this song. I don't even know where I'm at in terms of the show, of like where this was in the set. This is later on, maybe in the beginning. I have no idea, honestly. But I guess my initial thoughts from the other videos I had watched from the Pepsi Center was that I just thought that maybe it was just hotter there because they were outside, and that's why they had like a little bit of extra like sweat on their hair and stuff like that. But it really had to do with like the fact that I think you guys said that they had the flu. I've had the flu a couple times in my life, and let me tell you, that is like no joke. Just like if you've ever had COVID before, that shit is no joke, yo. Like it is like something that like it just takes all your energy away. So the fact that they are rocking out as hard as they are, and the fact that they're probably feeling like complete crap at the same time, is like incredibly commendable. Like you gotta like give it up for that. Like especially like knowing like, again, they're in Mexico, they're outside, it's warm down there, and they also got the flu, and they're also wearing like leather pants and stuff, and they're playing instruments. Like they're still performing. I talked about the lyrics to this song a lot in my actual reaction to this video and the first time actually hearing it, but it always like just really kind of like sticks with me. Like a different part of this song probably sticks out to me almost every time I listen to it. Go ahead and cry shallow pools of blood. Diamond noose at your throat. And I know she does it like in like the whole like, you know, singy song way. Like, come on guys, I'm not going to act it out for you. If you've heard me attempt to sing or anything like that in any of my videos, you will understand why I don't. Some of my friends lie to me and say that I'm not as bad as I sound, but I'm definitely not as good as someone like Danny. Not even close! But those lyrics just really make me focus on like the idea of just like how shallow like a lot of people, especially with like money and power, can be. And they spend their money like, you know, just tons and tons and tons of money on things that, you know, like blood diamond, if you will. Like, that's why I said like, kind of like, you know, it makes me think about the idea of like, when those kinds of people get up there in front of these platforms and they talk about like, oh, that we got to stop doing these things, and like they back this one idea, but yet they'll go ahead and get this diamond that God only knows what happened to get that jewelry, and you'll spend all your money on something like that, and you'll just turn a blind eye about that. The shallow pools of blood. Your tears are shallow. It's been a conversation about shoes, about phones, like, well, what end like will you turn the blind eye of like how we like have seen and like would hear how some of these things are these products are like manufactured and resourced, and yet we'll like turn those blind eyes just for the sake of profit. I'm going to say for sure that that version was fire. And I have to say, it might have been a little bit better than the version I got. Like I said, Money was one of those songs that I really, 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 really liked from The Warning. And when they played it live, like I was like so in my own world. Like I feel like it was over. Like as soon as I closed my eyes, it was over. And I feel like every time that I watch them play it and listen to that song, it's always like over before I want it to be. So I definitely felt like at the show, I definitely probably missed a lot more of the nuances in the moment than I did watching this. So I can't really tell you like exactly if it was exactly the same, but some things were definitely different. We got some of the woo! And this one, they switched it up, and I did not hate it. I did not hate it. I like the idea of you not being consistent with it, whereas like sometimes you do it this way, sometimes you do it that way. Kind of however you're kind of feeling in the moment or feeling that night, and how you kind of want to just interact with that crowd. And like I said, I feel like with this version, Danny got us like really like, all right, you're going to be like in with it. And I feel like when we did it, like the cash and money part was just kind of happening, where like I thought there was going to be a lot more crowd interaction with that part, where I thought that we were all going to kind of chant that at the same time that Pow and Ale do. But hey, guys, they're going to be back sometime, and I got plenty more shows to go to, so we got plenty of more ideas to try to get things going at some of these Warning concerts.
Don't come to me saying that you care, that I was the one who was never there. Or don't come with your lights in the air. You keep blaming me and it ain't fair.
Here we go.
Your words mean nothing. Your words mean nothing at all. You said that we were gonna be together forever and ever, but now I'm lying on the floor with my broken heart and all. You said that I was the one of your dreams, that your heart belonged to me. Now I believe I must move on because I think you won't come home. Come home. Oh, I know I will survive, even if you're not by my
I feel like that was a moment where she like smiled for the camera, and then when she like looked away, she was like, okay, I can breathe.
even if you're not by my side. Think this time I'll say goodbye. Don't come to me saying
Oh,
that
this
you
song is so
care,
fire,
that I
man.
was the one who was
That
never
rip.
there. Or don't come with your lights in the air. You keep blaming me and it ain't fair. Don't come telling me that you're worried, that I'll be hurting if you're gone. Don't come to me saying that you're sorry. Your words mean nothing. Your words mean nothing at all. You said that we were perfect for each other, but I was like no other. I never knew this was sinking you when I was.
Ale is such a professional, man. Like all three of these ladies, like, they just make me smile. They make me laugh. Like in these little nuances and these little moments they have. Such an abrupt change, like in a moment.
That we were perfect for each other, but I was like no other. I never knew this was sinking you when I was replaced. You said that you were gonna keep your promise of loving me always, but now I know that it ain't true, and I'm so glad that I left you. Oh, I know I will survive, even if you're not by my side. Think this time I'll say goodbye. Don't come to me saying that you care, that I was the one
Oh
who
my
was
God, it
never
runs through my body like every
Don't
time.
come with your lights in the air. You keep blaming me and it ain't fair. Don't come telling me that you're worried, that I'll be hurting if you're gone. Don't come to me saying that you're sorry. Your words mean nothing. Your words mean nothing at all.
Okay, before we go on this journey, I feel like this performance like just sounds like even better than like just like the Teatro Metro version. Like that version, like that first time that I had heard this song, like it just gave me like all these feelings that I really felt like none of the other Warning songs had given me, like really at this point, because they all give like these different kind of ranges of emotions of like what kind of different things that you should feel, because like they write about a lot of different things throughout the spectrum. And for me, Survive has been like the most unique version of that, where I felt like it has been like this really energetic and fun breakup song. And a lot of people have a difficult time writing like a really good breakup song that is not sad. And if it's about like moving on and like all right, we're gonna move on with our lives and your words mean nothing at all, and we're gonna, like, I'm over you now. Like, it's really, really easy for that to just be like really corny and really childish. And again, the age factor on when they wrote this song would be when you would think that it would probably be that much more kiddie. Most of the music that I think that the majority of people really intake is from the mind and the perspective of somebody in like more the earlier stages of their lives, where you're writing about adult situations and adult feelings when you haven't had as much life experience yet to kind of more or less kind of talk you out of maybe some of the ways that you express yourself. That's why it's really hard to find like a super, super deep and real cut from somebody who was like 50, 60, where it also kind of sounds a little dramatic, because most people aren't as dramatic that late in their life. Now I'm getting all over the place. Just get back to the solo.
¡Vamos, Ciudad de México!
It sounds so clean and crisp. Have some fun up there. I do have to say that I just miss like seeing Pal like just all smiles behind the kit like that. Somebody told me that she was, I guess, having some back problems or something like that, and that she more or less kind of had to tone down some of the energy for like her overall health, which totally makes sense. I totally get that. Like, the life of a drummer is very long and very difficult, and they have tons of back problems, tons of health issues, because it's just a difficult instrument in terms of like the playing like on the body like that. In the midst of them all being sick and whatnot, they're still up there having a great time. They're still having there was so much energy. Like I said, Pow's just all smiles. Half of the song, almost every single time that you saw her, she was just like, could not contain the smile. That song is just overall happy and energetic and fun, and it just how does it not put you in a better mood anytime you listen to it? I appreciate you so much for hanging out with me today. The Warning Army, you guys are the best, and if you haven't joined the Foxtrot family, there's always room for you. Till next time, I appreciate you for watching.